Hey you, Jeremy here. Welcome to CJEA community. So I want to ask you something. Have you ever watched an old video of yourself, or have you ever looked back to a previous post that you have made several years ago? And when you saw yourself, or you saw your video, your picture, and you cringed, you were like, ooh. And tell me, leave comments below. Has that ever happened to you? Do you know what I'm talking about, or am I the only one here? So I was listening to Matt D'Avila, and he was speaking on the reason why that we would cringe when we see a video of ourselves in the past is because we are no longer that person, that we have changed, that we have grown, that we are in a different place than we were when we took that picture or when we made that video. And so I appreciate that perspective. I really do. I really like that idea that looking back on an old picture or an old video, an old post of myself, and having that reaction is because that I have grown since then. And so I like that thought. However, the question is when you, in your experience, when you look back and you saw that video or you saw that picture and you had that reaction, what was the words that came to your mind immediately after that? In other words, what did you tell yourself as soon as you saw that video or you saw that picture of yourself? Because what you told yourself or what was going through your mind, that is the key. That is what's really important. And I will give you an example as to here's why. Check out this video. This is one of my cringe videos, right? Check this out. You got companies spending thousands of dollars, hours and hours of time trying to be the #1 on Google, trying to be the top-rated video, trying to drive the most traffic to their site, to their blog, and then you got me, who within seconds brought you directly to this page from your smartphone. Wow! And now that you've seen that video, you might not have had the same reaction that I have, but for me, that was one of those videos that I just cringed. I was like, ooh, I can't believe that that's out there in public and that someone would watch that. And the problem is that by me watching that video, I listened to that little voice inside my head or in the back of my mind that told me all these negative things about myself, so that after that video, I didn't do another one. No, it was several years, almost a decade, until I posted another video publicly like that for someone to see. And that is not growth. What was going through my mind because of that voice in my head and because of the words that I told myself directly after watching that video, it changed the course of my life. It changed the next 5-7 years of my life. Now, today you're watching this video. Obviously, I posted another video since then, and it's because I'm in a different place, and because, yes, now I can appreciate and I can look at that and say, yeah, I've changed since then. But at the time and a couple of years after that, when I look at that and I would cringe, and I was in a different place, and that my mind was telling me, that voice in my head was telling me something else, and I listened to it, and it changed the course of my life. It took me to a very different place. And so that's what I want you to think about. If you're in a place that you can look back at an old video and say, oh yeah, okay, I'm a different person, that's great. But if you're in a place that you look at an old video and all of a sudden you get all these negative thoughts, or you get all these ideas about yourself, or you start criticizing yourself, or, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You know what comes up, right? That's what those words, what you're telling yourself immediately after watching something like that. That's what I'm talking about here. That is what needs to be addressed. That's what we need to talk about. And that is where, when I became a creative journalist and I was able to understand what that voice was, how to identify it, and then how to change that dialogue, then I could become a different person. I could make that growth. But it wasn't until I had certain knowledge and experience, and like I said, became a creative journalist in the CJEA community, and the tools that they have helped me, was I then able to take it and apply those things, and to hear that voice, understand it, identify it, and then know what to do with it, so that 5-10 years down the road, I could be in a place of growth, and I could be in a place that I could look back and cringe and say, "Oh, that's not me anymore," and continue on with who I knew who I was and who I wanted to be. And so my hope for you is that you decide to become a creative journalist. You decide to join the CJEA community. Because when it comes to mental health, the truth is that we have a better way. Now let's go share that hope with somebody who needs to hear it today. We'll see you next time.